Hello, my name is Coralie Zuef, and today I'm here to talk to you about 5 shifts successful service advisors and shop owners use to decrease conflict and increase profit. So who is this part for today? It is for service advisors or writers, shop owners, or service managers. Basically, anybody who is in between the customer and the technician who does translating in between the two. Once again, my name is Coralie Zuef, and why the heck do I have anything to say to you guys? Well, I've been in the automotive industry for 20 years now. I started off pumping gas. I hold certificates in the trade of parts person, automotive service technician foundations, professional automotive sales and leasing, and I am also the author of the best-selling book on Amazon, 5-Star Service Advisor. And that was top seller twice last year in 2021. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to decrease conflict and increase profit in the shop. So let's jump into it. The first step I'd like to talk to you about is a moral one, kind of a boring one, but we have to start here. And that is honesty is the best policy. Just today, I was on moneywise.com checking to see what the 20 most dishonest professions were. And as I was scrolling through, getting to 7, getting to 6, I hadn't seen anything in automotive yet. So I was getting kind of excited, like maybe our industry has made a turn for the better. And then I got to number 1, and there, the job listed there is somebody in the automotive industry. So that was kind of a bummer. We have a lot of work to do. So would you agree that the automotive industry has a bad reputation for being dishonest? You can type in the chat there if you like. Yep. I know not necessarily yourself, but you definitely hear it from customers, hear it from friends and family. I bet if you talk to the friends and family or anybody you come to across on the streets, actually, if you ask them if they had a bad experience while getting a vehicle repaired, you probably get more yeses than no. And why is this happening? Lying can come, or dishonesty can come across 2 different ways. So one, service advisors or technicians can blatantly lie to a customer, saying that they need repairs when they in fact don't. So this is a very easy one to avoid. Everybody put up your right hand and say, I swear to never lie to the customer. And you can put your hand up in the box. Oh, good. Glad to see. Awesome. So the other way that customers can perceive service advisors lying to them is one, if their vehicle needs quite a bit of work and the service advisor doesn't present it to them. If you're too nervous or don't think the customer is going to go for it anyways, and you just kind of say, well, your vehicle is fine, rather than telling them about all the repairs that they need, that is a form of lying. That is not telling them the truth. And that one we can actually fix. There's a few steps that we can do that. So let's jump into shift number 2, and that is the service advisor may not be comfortable with large dollar amounts. So what I would like everybody to do is type in the box what you would consider expensive, like an amount of money that you'd be nervous to spend on anything really. So I'm seeing $400, $1,300, $800, and $5,000. So as you can see, everybody has a different threshold for what they view as expensive. What one person thinks may not necessarily be what the other person is thinking as well. So when you get an invoice, or sorry, when you create an estimate that is higher than your threshold of comfort for money that you're comfortable with, that can affect how you present the estimate to the customer, or even if you present it at all. So for this step, to get people more comfortable with money, either yourself, talk to the owner, the manager, discuss what dollar amount you're uncomfortable with and what estimates that we are consistently seeing in your place of work. So if it's, let's say, $1,200, let's get the manager, owner, somebody to bring in that amount of cash. And what I would like you to do is count that money. Bring in different increments of bills, get comfortable holding it, counting it, because customers will come in and want to pay you with cash, and you're going to have to count it out in front of them, and maybe with somebody else watching you as well. And you don't want to make any mistakes or be nervous around that. When you get it in your hands and you're counting it out and feeling it, you're going to realize it's just paper. It's something that is being exchanged for the work that is being done on the vehicle. And there's no reason to be nervous about it. So let's get comfortable with that amount of money that you're going to be handling on a regular basis. And the next reason that service advisors might not, or might be coming across as dishonest to the customer, is they don't understand what repairs are needed on the vehicle. So shift number 3 is to educate the customer, don't sell them. So people feel that they're getting ripped off when they don't understand the repairs that they're getting. You can tell a customer that their brake caliper is seized, but they don't know what it is. They don't know why they need it. Brakes are kind of important, but is it really necessary? And why do we need to do, other stuff along with it? And if you don't know, you're not going to be able to explain it properly to them. So what I like to do is use visual aids to help if you're having difficulty using or explaining it to them. One, if the vehicle is sitting on the hoist and the brakes are exposed, you can walk the customer out to the shop if that is okay with your insurance company, the owner policies there, and as well as the technician. So you can bring them out and show them exactly what's happening with the vehicle, where all the parts are, and why it is needed. That definitely helps. And then when they go home, they can look through the wheel and explain to, say, their husband, their wife, their kids, their parents, on what they got done to the vehicle and why it needed to be done. If using a vehicle isn't an option, I like to use the next best visual aid. And just give me a moment here. I'm going to share my screen with you. So I have just Googled brakes on the computer here, and you can see that there are very simple drawings up to more complex ones, depending on where your customer is with their knowledge. You can even print these out and keep them in a file for jobs that you discuss fairly regularly. So let's just click on this simple one right here. I'm not going to get a large picture, sorry. Guess this is the easiest one that you have, or the simplest one. So you can, or choose whichever one you like the best. So you can explain to the customer that this metal disc right here is their brake rotor. And they do wear down, and once they're thin enough, they can't be machined, so you need a new one. Next, let's start with the caliper here. So you can explain them that the caliper sort of pinches on the rotor right here, and then the brake pads go on either side, which is a consumable product. And as you step on the brake pedal, the calipers apply pressure to the pads to slow the vehicle down. So simple as that. They have learned something about brakes. They know the names of the components and what they do. And if they have any questions, you can bring the technician in. So that was a very basic explanation of how brakes work, but a simple one is always best when talking to the customers, unless they have a large automotive knowledge. Sorry, let me just unshare my screen here now. There we go. So rather than selling the repairs to the customer, we can explain to them, first off, what is happening with the vehicle, why it is malfunctioning. Next would be what it means to them. This part is not working correctly. What that means to you, let's use water pump. Your water pump is leaking coolant. What that means to you is you will have no more coolant in the vehicle. It's meant to stay in the vehicle. You can also mention environmental hazards if you like, and your vehicle potentially will overheat and cause more expensive damage to the engine. How we can solve it for you? Well, we have a new water pump in stock here for you today, and we can install that for you now. And if you like, also, we noticed that the belt on there is fairly old. It does come off when we do the water pump. So if you'd like us to take care of that for you today as well, it would add about $50 to the invoice. How would you like us to proceed? Simple, very straightforward, eh? Okay. Moving on to step number 4, and that is leverage technology and utilizing social media. Your shop might have a social media account already, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, maybe you make YouTube videos, whatever the next one that's going to be coming out since I've made this video for you. But my first suggestion is to hijack the shop's Facebook page and use it to your advantage. And if your shop does not have social media, which is still kind of common these days, I suggest that you make your own. So you could be, I'd be Corley Service Advisor, or Corley Service Writer, Corley Service Manager, whatever title you want to go with. You could use a nickname or something like that if you want, and make a Facebook page with that and put on the back of your business card. This is very convenient. Let's say if you do decide to switch jobs in the future, you can post about that, and then your customers will also follow you there. Not as cool for the owners, so it would encourage them to let you hijack their social media. But if not, then your customers will know exactly where you have gone. So what kind of things would you be posting on social media? First off, I would say make a list of anything that you are repeating multiple times a day. Can you think of anything that you have to repeat multiple times a day and you just get tired of constantly saying those things? Type it in the chat and let's see what ideas you come up with here. Yes, tire pressure is definitely a big one at the top of everybody's list. It can be embarrassing. The grown-ups that come in and don't know how to check their tire pressure and need you to do it for them. So what you can do with that is make a quick video on how to check your tire pressure and post it on there. Also, when the customer comes in, rather than go out there and do it for them and enabling it, them not knowing how to do it, have a tire gauges that are available for purchase. Have them purchase the gauge first and then go out to the vehicle with them. Have a look on their driver's door jamb to see what their tire pressure is supposed to be at. Next, check the first tire for them and see what it's at, and then have them do the next 3. And this will eliminate them asking you to do it. Also, if you have a video on it, it'll be a good refresher. If people who are thinking about asking you and they see it, they'll know they're able to do it themselves. So let's see here. Other things that people are asking you repeatedly might be hours, might be about scheduling. Another one right now is COVID protocols. So if customers are used to things being one way, and when they come in, there are some changes, you can make a quick video about it and post it on social media for them. Let's see here. Another one might be the key drop box at night. Let's say a customer is dropping their vehicle off in the evening or after hours or early in the morning, and they don't know how to do everything. I know service advisors regularly get envelopes that aren't filled out properly because they've just been scribbled on. Make a video about what you do when you drop a vehicle off, that you need to come here, that you get the pen from here, that you need this information before you're able to work on the vehicle. And then customers will see that, and hopefully it'll eliminate a couple of challenging times for you, or frustrating times when you have to go find this information that hasn't been written down. So the last one, or the fifth step now, is about finding a mentor and being a mentor. I know in the industry right now, or in all industries, it's very challenging to find people who want to work. Nobody's applying. The people who are applying are few and far between, and oftentimes not good fits as well. So first off, for you being a mentor, what I would suggest doing is going to the trade schools, going into the high schools, wherever there's a program or where people may be interested in your industry, and talking to them, going into the class and volunteering and telling them what it's like, inviting the class to come check out your place of employment. This way, the students will get some real experience and hear from somebody who's really working in the industry, rather than just their teacher, who also has a great deal of knowledge and experience. But to hear it from somebody who's actually in the industry right now is really rewarding. And then you might find that there's one or two students that you connect with. So while they're in school and you're going in there semi-regularly to talk about your industry, your place of employment, when it comes time for them graduating or looking for a part-time job while they're in school, you may be a perfect fit for them. If not, then they'll be a good fit somewhere else. We're making the next generation of employees more competent. So I'd like you to take a step to help with that. The other thing is looking at and talking to the other employees, or the less experienced ones, and kind of taking them under your wing and touching base with them, seeing if there's any help that they need. Keeping them comfortable, and talking about problems as they arise, rather than maybe having them get frustrated and just not show up one day. So does that make sense, guys? Yep. Okay. Seen a lot of thumbs up in the box. That's great. And next is finding a mentor for you. Nobody wants to be stuck in the same place in life for their whole 40 years of work. Most people have goals or don't know what direction they want to go in or what their next goal would be, but having a mentor definitely helps. So a mentor is different than a boss or a manager or a senior colleague. The relationship focuses on your personal and confidential growth and development. The mentor provides wisdom, support with your goals and your ongoing success. So the average service advisor and the plumber make about $48,000 per year, with room to grow. A plumber spends years as an apprentice, attending in-class training, investing in thousands of dollars of tools and ongoing education, and they work in crap. Trying to have a successful plumbing career without the proper education and mentoring and tools is crazy. No one can do that. Nobody wants to do that. So I have personally invested tens of thousands of dollars in mentors, and each time I did, it was a big decision. Some were good and some were not that great. But with each one, I was able to take pieces that they showed me, the way to do things or what to avoid. And now that investment pays for itself in 3 months. So I've literally been that person coasting along, making a decent enough income, then seeing my peers hit 6-figure incomes. And I decided I didn't want to be the person who's watching others succeed with their income goals. I want to be that person. So trying to be successful without a mentor is like being in a big city for the first time with just an address that you need to find. And you ask random people, but they don't really know exactly how to get there. So having a mentor is like having a GPS with step-by-step instructions on how to get there. And if you go off course, they'll redirect you. So what I do today is I help shops and service advisors throughout the whole process um, from the tools that you need to do the job, speaking with customers, handling complaints, how to make estimates, work orders, what kind of questions to ask the customers so that there's no conflict and it saves the technician time when diagnosing the vehicle as well. I spent 20 years in the industry, and people would ask me, the most common question that people would ask is, how do you handle upset customers? And I was really puzzled by this because upset customers were few and far between, maybe like once or twice a year. And so I really didn't understand why they were upset, maybe about price or about the quality of work and such. And I realized that there is a very specific way to do things so that the end result is having happy customers that have no problem with the price. And they get to carry on in a safe vehicle, and you get to carry on helping other people. So what I did was made a process of everything from the beginning to the end, and also how to handle conflicts if that arrives with you and a customer, between maybe you and a coworker. And then I put it all in my book, as well as teaching individual shops now online. So if what I have gone over today makes sense with you, let's see here, I'll just quickly share where you can find me to apply. And so what I have is, you click on the link or you visit the website here. Just be one moment sharing this one. There we go. And you can go to corleyzoef.com/apply. I do have very limited space on my calendar. I'll also type it in the chat box for you as well. Yeah, and then we can discuss what's working in your shop, what's not working, and if I'll have a solution for you. Thank you very much for checking in today, guys, and I look forward to talking with you in the future. Thank you.